Welcome, Power fans. I'm back to cover episode 206. Here they are monsters of book 4, Power Force. What an episode this was. Might be my favorite episode so far this season. Let me get right to it. Why was I clapping? I have to be clapping for our girl, Shanti, the showstopper. I gotta say, I gotta owe her an apology. I didn't recognize her game. I didn't know she was that cunning. I knew she had Jannard's back, but she had a master plan from jump, and she finally took off her mask to reveal that we have a Queenpin in waiting, so to speak. She's only getting Jannard back into CBI so they can infiltrate and destroy it from within. And her plan is to use Jannard to take everything from Tommy and Diamond and take back Chicago, essentially. She's looking at it from kind of a Black nationalist perspective. She mentioned that she's tired of outsiders and white people taking everything that they have and exploiting the community. So that would mean Tommy, that would mean the Flynns. So she wants them all out and she wants everything for herself. And she has the perfect vehicle for that. She has somebody that has blood relations with Diamond. So he's always going to have a soft spot for Jannard. Jannard is kind of head over heels in love with her, number one. And then, and then also he's recovering from an addiction. So he's going to be vulnerable always, I think, in that state that Shanti can manipulate at will. So she has a lot of things in place to really kind of kill everything this second half of the season. So I'm looking forward to seeing how devious she can get. You can see in the title I compared her to Lady Macbeth. For those of you who took your English classes in high school and all that, you remember Lady Macbeth was the most cunning person in that book, Macbeth, and that she was the one that put everything in motion. That's what we have with Shanti at this point. But there's one thing that I'm a little concerned about, and it ties into this little quote right here.
I gambled on you, and you gambled on a crackhead. Fuck that!
And the reason why I am a little worried about this is that she is putting all of her hope and all of her dreams into someone that is a former crackhead and is really just within like a week removed from his addiction. And now she has him in a power position where he's going to be dealing a lot with drugs. And that's also the reason Diamond didn't mention that Jannard had been strung out recently, because we all know that's the liability to have somebody like that in the camp. So how long is Jannard going to be able to keep it together? That's the thing I'm kind of worried about with Shanti, that can make her plan unravel. And then the other one is blood versus love. Is the love that Jannard has for her, is that going to override his blood relations with Diamond? Hard to see at this point. And I feel at some point at the end of the season, maybe the finale, Jannard is going to have to make a decision. Is he going to keep rolling with Shanti, or is he going to run back to his brother like he's been doing? That's the big thing we're going to have to see. But I'm very intrigued. I like Shanti as this main kind of villain in the background. You can see her contrast between how she operates and how someone like Claudia operates. Claudia has that ego where she wanted to be out front. She wanted everyone to kind of bow down to her. And that's kind of led to the position she's in now, trying to crawl back and get herself together because she's basically alone now. Shanti doesn't have that problem because she has a man as a front. To me, it's more powerful and more safe to be the power behind the power, so to speak, with Jannard being that buffer to kind of keep her safe. So we'll see how long she can keep that mask up with CBI and all them, and them not realizing that she's pulling the strings in the background. And then that leaves us, I was mentioning Claudia. Claudia now has someone in her corner, Elise, who we've never seen before, someone that she was in love with when she was back in boarding school. This is a whole different dynamic we're going to see, because as Claudia mentioned, all the men in her life were just looking for one thing, or just manipulating her, or didn't respect her. She knows Elise respects her, and right off the bat, they have a scheme going where they can move pills through the strip clubs. So that's going to get a little capital behind Claudia, and we'll see what she can possibly do with the Serbs if they're going to back her. So little by little, that can get her back in the game. I can't really put a read on Elise yet. part of me was thinking, well, maybe she's like an undercover from Dublin or something. And maybe Dublin got to her first and she's just there to keep an eye on Claudia. But I don't think that's a little too over the top. We already had a few big surprises so far this season. I think if it was Dublin, they would have just came there and killed her. So I think this is someone genuine in her corner that can help keep Claudia grounded. And we're going to, I think, see a different part of her personality because we saw at the beginning of the episode, we saw her psychopath personality where she can just turn on the tears and then go completely evil the way she was talking with, to her deceased father, Flynn, while he's on the slab. He still couldn't get any peace even when he's dead. So I think we've seen that. We've seen Claudia at her worst. At least we're going to be able to see the softer side of her, and we'll see how far that can go. That leads us to the other brother, Vic Flynn, who's actually inherited everything. He has the money, has the property, has the territory that he's going to share with Tommy. He's worked out an agreement. But here's the big problem. The devil you know is better than the one that you don't. And I think Vic is finding that out now with this partnership that he's made with the cops. I really think he thought this was something that was going to be simple. They would just want his sister and that he can get out the game and be happily ever after. Does not work like that. You are owned by them, as they told him, and you're going to do whatever we want you to do, which means go undercover, put yourself in danger to try and get Tommy roped in. And we know Tommy's a veteran of avoiding task force and Ricos and all that. So Flynn is very behind the barrel right now talking about Vic, what could potentially happen. And he knows it. He's already fretting about the tails being too close when he's meeting with Tommy. And Vic is unstable, even at this point, because he doesn't know when he's going to get exposed. So it's going to cause him to make a mistake. He's going to get somebody killed. The question is who? I think the first person he's going to get killed is going to be one of the cops. We haven't seen a cop get killed this season. You always get at least two with power, no matter what book you're dealing with. So if someone's going to get killed, I think it's going to be someone that's inconsequential initially. So I think the cop that was tailing him and Tommy that got a little too close, I think Vic is going to do some type of mishap that's going to get him killed. And then that's going to bring the rest of the task force down on him, grilling him even more to come up with something big by the season finale. And we'll see if it's big enough where he actually exposes himself and gets himself killed. So we'll see. As he gets further into CBI, if he does get in there, I'm wondering if he's going to have any interaction with Jannard and Shanti. Maybe he overhears them talking, and maybe that gets him in Tommy's good graces even more, where he can meet the Connect at that point. We'll see. But I'm not, if he got killed, I really wouldn't care too much. He's kind of just out there in the wind, by himself without Gloria. So I'm wondering if he makes it through the end of the season now, but we shall see. The final thing I want to touch on is kind of the love aspect, particularly with Maria and her brother Miguel. I was wondering, I'm like, they remind me of someone from the past. And who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Tony Montana and his sister Gina, that kind of incestuous, just a little too close for comfort relationship. We're starting to see some of that now. And she wants Miguel to back off, which he's not going to do. I think he's going to be even worse now, since in his worst time of need with his what was it, diabetes that he has that's really flaring up bad, and Maria doesn't want to give him the shot. I think that's going to make him even more vengeful. He's going to start tailing her, and then he's going to see her with Tommy, and then he's going to go into a complete rage. And then that's going to lead to a confrontation with Tommy and Miguel. And we know Tommy is a Terminator. No one can kill him. So we know that's going to make Miguel expendable. But I don't think it'll be that simple either, because what happened? We have the ghosts of Holly show up. And one thing about Power, when the ghosts show up, that means someone is going to die. So get your Deadpool ready as far as, making bets on who's going to go. I think what's going to happen, because she alluded to it, she told Tommy that you try to live between two worlds, and you can't do that. You want kind of the civilian life, that loving partner and everything. You want that going on, while at the same time you're endangering your life every day in the drug game. You can't do both. So I think that was an ominous warning that Maria is probably going to get killed, probably by accident, when Miguel and Tommy end up going at it. So if Maria's out of here by the end of the season, it would not surprise me, because I think that was very ominous, having Holly come out like that and basically, reveal that you are putting this girl in danger. And something else, someone else in the episode alluded to that too. The Serbs actually, Mirko, I think his name is. He told Tommy that you're a pirate. You don't respect boundaries, and that's true. He doesn't respect boundaries anywhere, and that leads to what Holly said: you destroy everything you touch, essentially. So. Poor Maria, I think she's another one that's going to be out of here by the end of the season, even though I think she knows in her heart she needs to stay away, but she's in too deep now. Once you have that love gene activated, or logic goes out the window. So that's what I think is going to go happen on there. That's kind of my wrap up. Those are the big things that stood out to me. The main thing is Shanti. I want to see how much dirt she can get into over the next 4 episodes or so. I think things are going to move really fast, and we're going to have a real explosive season finale. Actually, this season, I'm so impressed by it because I really think it's a marked improvement over the first season. The first season was okay, but there is a new showrunner, and I think that's why the tone is so different. And a lot of the characters, or a good number of the characters in the first season, have gotten taken out, leading to kind of this new slate that we have. But I like the pacing that we're going. I'm enjoying everything so far. Just a couple of housekeeping things I wanted to go over. The Serbs shooting up the projects. I'm classifying that as a hate crime. The Department of Justice needs to be out there and investigating the Serbs, because that was just straight foul. So over the top, classic power. So we'll see where that goes. The next thing would be homegirl Gianna. Gianna's the one who has her son getting the boxing lessons from Diamond. I was liking Gianna. She looks good and everything, seemed like a good woman. But now I'm looking at her sideways. You had that man Diamond up in the house, knowing that you got a man, knowing that there's going to be a confrontation like that as soon as that guy gets home, because you know what type of man that you're dealing with. So, if I was Diamond, I'd be looking at her crazy. You're trying to get me set up and killed, not even a heads up that your man is crazy. So, yeah, Gianna's playing games. So, Diamond handled that right, because that dude does need to go, but obviously he's probably not going to take that line down. So I expect him to try and get in some more dirt. I don't know how he can get back at Diamond, but something's going to happen with him, and then Diamond's going to have to make a decision to basically make this kid an orphan. So we'll see where that goes. And I think that's the kid that's also which is funny, isn't he like a civil rights speaker and all that, really involved in the community and all that? And that's kind of wild that he's that grounded talking about that kid, and he has a dirt bag for a father like that. So interesting to see, but I kind of want to see where things go. And we don't know how things are going to go with Gianna if she eventually meets Diamond's homegirl that's in the corrections facility that does dirt for him. That could be a whole nother dynamic too. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And the last thing that kind of surprised me, just to end on a funny note, I didn't recognize Claudia for a second when she walked in the club with her little daddy outfit on. That was a whole different look for her. I was like, who is this next to Elise? I really didn't recognize her at first. So we'll see if Claudia keeps that look up going forward. So let me know what you guys think. Is this one of your favorite episodes of the season? How far do you see Shanti going? Would you like Shanti to be the main villain for season 3? Kind of similar to what we had with Noma in book 2, but just kind of on a lower scale. Would you like to see Shanti in that role? I would love it. I'd rather have her in that place than, kind of Claudia's storylines and all that. So we'll see where things go. This is episode 206. I'll be back next week to cover 207. We'll be doing that for the entire seasons. The recaps will be dropping a little bit before 1 a.m. after the episodes end every Friday. I'm going to say Friday morning or Friday night. So look to come back here and get the recaps, like and subscribe, and I'll be bringing this content to you every single day or every single Friday for the rest of the season. And now that the strike is over, or should be over soon, I'm hoping maybe to get an interview or two for you guys from this cast, by the time we get to season's ends, but keep your fingers crossed. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week.